is Orangul. I represent College APEC Petrotechnic. It is in Atyrau city in Kazakhstan. I just wanted to share our experience, how we use the scaffold cards as a pilot program where we participate, where our college participates, and several teachers from our colleges are members of this program. I'm very happy today, and I'm excited and nervous because I'm going to speak today, and I'm going to share my experience in front of those who developed this method. Just recently, in September, we began this, and I hope you will not judge strictly. We try and we want this to work. Our educational institution is quite famous as one of the leading colleges in Kazakhstan, who is building the staff for technological sectors. Taking into account the global market with developed technologies, we understand that it is very important to get the students who have not just technical knowledge, but soft skills as well, and global competencies, which are necessary for work in different conditions.
We always try to stay at the front of innovations. We try all the technologies and innovations and methods to give the students a high quality education and good orientation for the future. And for that purpose, we started to use scaffold cards to improve the efficiency of the education. We introduced that method into the curriculum in September. And after 2 months of the application, I would like to share our initial observations and successes. So these months were filled with education, experiments, and finalization. And today I'd like to talk about how these cards affected the students as well as educators. In order to implement these cards, scaffold cards, successfully, we realized that we need to ensure structurized approach, and that allowed us to see the effectiveness of methods at each stage. So we divided the implementation into the major stages. One is we started researching on this, and first we tried to research the scaffold cards in depth. We conducted trainings, and we taught each other. That was the time to learn about the concept, how it works, how it can be effectively implemented into the existing educational system of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The next stage was the needs assessment for the students. So we've identified which specific competences and skills are required to our students to align the cards into these requirements and needs. And for that, we need a few methods. We used a few methods. I'll talk about it as well. Next one is the initial implementation of scaffold cards. At this stage, we started using scaffold cards in classrooms. We conducted lessons and how we planned the lessons based on these cards. And we tried this in different subjects and disciplines. I am the teacher of language, but this is the requirement from the age of 16, and we teach English only in the first year, not the second year. So I started applying this for the different discipline. Next stage, we observed the progress and the process. We watched how the teachers and students are adapting to the new approach. We shared our experience and what we've seen in the classrooms, what was the response from the students, etc. The next one was the extensive use based on the initial results. We expanded the use of scaffold cards, and just recently we started this extensive implementation. We included them into the larger number of disciplines and lessons plans. The final assessment and reflection will come later. We plan to see the final picture at the end of January or beginning of February, hopefully, and we'll be able to say exactly whether we've achieved what we wanted, whether we helped our students or not. So when we started our initial stage, we realized that we need to start with the basic module. That's why it's called in the Republic of Kazakhstan basic model. Why we decided to use the basic module is because this module sets the basis for some key competencies such as promotion of healthy lifestyle and well-being, development of physical shape, psychological state, socialization, adaptation to the working environment, identification of national identity, business knowledge, use of information communication technologies to achieve professional success. After the in-depth analysis, we decided to choose this module as the set forward point because these competencies are not only fundamental, but they also reflect the values that we wanted to impose to our students. And by that, we decided we came to understanding the specific needs of our students. And so here you can see this. So the second stage, when we define the needs of the students, we use different methods, including interviews, surveys, observations, to identify the key areas where our students require development. That allowed us to coordinate the cards with the existing curriculum and eliminate the specific knowledge gaps and skill gaps of our students. By the time when we achieve the third stage, which is the actual use of scaffold cards, we were able to and ready to use the real scenarios and to apply them into the actual lessons. Original scaffold cards were used by each teacher individually, and by individual, I mean that I was using them and other teachers were using them individually in their classrooms as part of their learning objectives. This individual approach allowed us to adapt and modify the cards to the unique requirements of each class and provided the freedom to strategize with their own students. So teachers worked together and shared experience on the weekly meetings, shared ideas of the developed competencies, for example, which competency we want to develop more in the upcoming week, etc. And in the we use them for the assessment of the outcomes of the students. We paid attention to the reaction of the students, how they responded to a particular method, and in which activities provoke more response in terms of developing particular competences. One of the teachers was their accent or emphasizing the learning process of the students. We found out that this method helps the students to take responsibility for their learning, which resulted in more active involvement and engagement. So the students expressed more interest. They were getting engaged in the educational process more. They became independent in terms of finding or searching for information. If previously, for example, I was giving them the references, telling them where the particular information could be found, and now I can just give them the topic, and then they are able to use all the available opportunities such as internet, etc., to find this information, filter this information, compare it, etc. So this was quite a shift compared to the normal class work, where the students were more passive while the teacher was the active figure giving all the references and explaining everything. Now, however, we are able to make them more independent. Moreover, the scaffold cards move the students towards addressing wider problems such as sustainable development, climate change, the future of the world economy, etc. We've seen that students now understand the mutual relation between all these global problems and how it would be possible to balance the environmental growth with the economical development. And this shows that they're developing the global thinking, which is very important for the future professionals. One of the interesting results was that the, the scaffold cards helped the role plays. We used to have the role plays during the English lessons, but with the different learning outcomes. And this was exceeding the expectations. For example, students used their own projects, entrepreneurship, green technologies, etc. So they've applied a wide spectrum of competencies, developing the business models, analyzing markets, and they received like a real understanding of of the market world. They used the digital technologies. They started providing their projects in the digital platform. They're using these different platforms. They started working in teams, in groups of students. They were able to modify their social skills, communication, solve conflicts, work to achieve common goals. I've been working for many years, and I know there were cases when students, for example, didn't want to work with a particular student, or they used to have some psychological or personal dislikes, etc. But now we slowly but surely moving towards the development of tolerance, team spirit, which is aimed to address common goals. Next is creative and critical thinking. These projects require the students to have critical thinking and innovation solution for business plans, sustainable development. Students integrated the elements of sustainable development by combining the business goals with the environmental protection and social responsibilities. The group format allowed the student to develop not only technical knowledge, but the personal competencies such as flexibility, leadership, cooperation, key features required for the workforce. By expanding the use of scaffold cards, we come to the next stage, interdisciplinary integration. We have not started this yet, but we have some initial steps. And this is a very interesting event as we see it, because we're looking at the different ways of how to merge the teaching different subjects. For example, central services and web portals with wider description of world global trends, digital methods of business management. This comprehensive approach will allow the students to see the link between the different areas of knowledge and understand the better application of what they're learning. And in the end, you have 1 minute left, Max. So in the end, in conclusion, I would like to say that the scaffold cards turned out to be a very useful tool for students as well as the teachers. And by implementing them, we not only helping to develop the key competencies in students, but we also improve our own pedagogical practice and the process of lesson development, experimenting different teaching methods and analysis of the success of the teachers allows us to grow professionally, continuous educational process, and the improvement is what makes the scaffold cards very effective, not only as pedagogical tool, but the overall teaching methods throughout life. We're very happy to learn about such an universal instrument, and we hope that we'll continue using it. Thank you very much for your attention.